What's up? It's Susie from Hey Grill Hey, and today we are making one of the oldest but most delectable recipes on my website. It is my drunk brisket with bacon barbecue sauce. And this one actually came at the request of one of our viewers who said, you know what, you need to remake the video of this because it's years old. So,
good thing for Mike.
Mike, thanks Mike. We're doing it for you today and for everybody else because this recipe deserves a little bit of a moment in the spotlight. Let's do it. Before we jump into the recipe, I wanted to take a quick second and tell you about the Grill Squad. It is my online barbecue community and education platform. My whole goal is to help you make better barbecues so you can feed the people you love and become a backyard barbecue hero. All of that happens in the Grill Squad, so check it out at thegrillsquad.com. Now to the recipe. Now, I mentioned this recipe is special, but it's actually really special because it's the first recipe I ever made on television, which kind of catapulted me down the entire path of barbecue on TV, Food Network, all the cool things that I was able to do, and it tastes really yummy. So you're gonna start with a brisket flat. You're looking for about 6 pounds, and a lot of times these will come pre-trimmed from your butcher case if you're in that like 4 to 6 pound range. If it's not trimmed down, grab your favorite knife, take it down. You want to remove almost all of the fat cap and trim the back down so you get rid of a lot of that silver skin and tissue on the back. Once you have your brisket ready to go, you're going to season on both sides with my beef barbecue rub. If you don't have this one, you can grab it in the store, heygrillhey.com/store, or we have a store locator. There are a ton of retailers nationally that are carrying our products, and we want to support these small retailers that are supporting us. They are awesome. Or if you want to do this at home, you can mix equal parts of coarse kosher salt, coarse black pepper, and garlic powder, and sprinkle that on all sides of your brisket. Now that our brisket is seasoned, we're gonna talk about the cooking process for this brisket a little bit. It has a couple more steps than you would see in a traditional smoked brisket, but that's because we're infusing it with flavor in multiple ways. So you need to use a smoker that you can use variable heat for. We're gonna start with a low smoke. We're gonna crank the temperature so we can get a sear on the outside, which again, not super traditional, but we're cooking our bacon barbecue sauce at the same time. So why not get a little extra grill flavor on our beef? And then we're going to braise it at about 350. So like I said, variable temps, about 200 degrees, about 500 degrees, and then 350. So this works really well on something like a pellet smoker. We're gonna be using our Masterbuilt gravity fed today. You can even do this on a kettle with charcoal if you feel comfortable regulating the temperature that way. So the first step in our cooking process, like I said, is that low temperature smoke. We're starting at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna pop this in for 3 hours, let it take on quite a bit of smoke before we move to the braising, searing steps that come later. You can use your favorite hardwoods here. We're using oak briquettes with oak wood chunks. It's gonna give us a really bold wood flavor. And since this is only smoking for 3 hours, the bolder, the better. You could even go with a mesquite or a hickory would be really nice here as well. We're ready for the second phase of our drunk brisket cooking process. This part is a little bit busy, but it's also a lot of fun. We're gonna pull our brisket off that's been smoking for the last 3 hours and crank the temperature up on our smoker to 500 degrees. We're looking for searing temperature. We're gonna be cooking our barbecue sauce on the grill. Because this was a brisket flat, we shouldn't have a lot of fat rendering. I'm not super worried about flare-ups, but if your grill is dirty or etc., you can do this on a gas grill or a charcoal grill if you're worried about turning your regular smoker up to a temperature that high. But this Masterbuilt can handle it, so we're gonna do it. I'm also gonna put my cast iron skillet on the grill so it can heat while the grill heats. In my original recipe, I called for this brisket to be wrapped and then refrigerated overnight. And it was a process a lot of people took anger with. There was a little bit of controversy surrounding it, but the reason is it gave the brisket a chance to almost marinate in that smoke flavor. That cold fridge overnight drove the smoke really deep into the brisket. It produced a really beautiful color and flavor. I realized that it is not practical for most people to smoke the night before and finish the next day. If you can, follow the recipe the way it was written for that. If not, like most people, you want to do it in the same day, we can move directly from smoking to the braising step with no problem. Our grill is up to temperature, and honestly, so am I. It is so hot today. I am also cooking, but we got to make this bacon barbecue sauce. We're going to start with a ½ pound of bacon. I already just chopped this into small pieces. It's going to go into our skillet, cook, and give us a nice fatty base layer for our sauce. Once our bacon has started to turn a little bit golden brown, render out that fat, we're going to add in a whole diced sweet onion. You could use a yellow or a white onion here also. To our onions and bacon, we're gonna add 4 cloves of minced garlic. We're gonna let the garlic cook for about 2 more minutes, and then it's an everybody in the pot kind of a situation to build out the rest of our barbecue sauce. Okay, I'm gonna rapid fire in the rest of these ingredients. If you don't catch the quantities, it's fine. You can click the link in the video description. The full printable recipe is available on the website. Ready? 1½ cups of chili sauce. This is like extra fancy ketchup. You can usually find it next to the cocktail sauce in the condiments aisle. A can of diced tomatoes with all of the liquid. 3/4 cup of dark brown sugar. A tablespoon of molasses. Stir it all together. It's already smelling amazing. I mean, bacon and onions and garlic rendering over a wood fire is fantastic, but put everybody together and my mouth is watering. Next goes in 2 cups of beef stock. And finally, I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon of beef rub. This is gonna really bring all the flavors together. I'm gonna slide my skillet over to the side of the grill, give myself a little bit of working room here, and we're gonna sear off both sides of the brisket. Optional, yes. Extra, definitely. Flavorful, absolutely. Once you get the color you like on the brisket, slide it carefully into your braising liquid. Then we're gonna pop a lid on top. Oh yeah. We're gonna close the lid and drop our temperature on our smoker down to 350 degrees. If you wanna save fuel, you can actually also do this part in your oven. The low temperature is really gonna let that brisket braise. It's gonna infuse the barbecue sauce with smoke and the brisket with the barbecue sauce. They play beautifully together. In about an hour and a half, we're gonna come out. We're gonna need to check the moisture level in our pan. It was very, very full, but it's gonna reduce almost by half in the next hour and a half. That's when we add the drunk part to our drunk brisket. See you in a bit. Our brisket has been braising for the last hour and a half. I've got a bottle of beer. I took this out of the fridge and let it slowly come up to room temperature. You don't wanna put cold beer in your hot braising liquid, but we're just gonna pop the lid off, add this beer to kind of reinforce the braise, make sure that it's up to the level we want it to, slightly covering the edges of the brisket, and we're gonna check the temperature as well. Beautiful. Looks like our brisket right now is just about 180 degrees Fahrenheit, 185, which is perfect after an hour and a half. We're gonna put the lid back on. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Close the lid and let it continue cooking. It might take another hour and a half or so. We're looking for a final finished temperature of about 205 degrees Fahrenheit.
Here's what happened.
So, remember how hot it was earlier? I shouldn't have complained because now a monsoon is blowing in and it's so windy, and it blew over one of our camera stands and broke one of our lights. And we're just hoping that we can actually finish the video, but it's almost dinner time and we have to eat, and sometimes you have bad weather and you cook anyway, right? So we're gonna finish it. Our brisket's been braising for about an hour and a half. I just checked the temperature. We're right at like 205, 206, but more importantly, it feels really tender and beautiful. So we're gonna pull our brisket out and let it rest, and then finish our bacon barbecue sauce. Our bacon barbecue sauce smells amazing, but as you can tell, it's not really the texture of a barbecue sauce that we're looking for. So we're going to finish it, and the way that we're gonna get the texture that we're looking for is by reducing it over high heat. Before we do that, I'm gonna add in a little bit of zip, a little bit of zing, something to make it extra delicious, a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, and then it goes over a burner, high heat, bring it to a boil, and then reduce the heat to a simmer. You want it to simmer for 15 to 20 minutes while our brisket rests until it gets a nice syrupy barbecue saucy texture. All right, our barbecue sauce is finished. We managed to do it out here in the wind, and it is the perfect consistency for a barbecue sauce. This is going to make more than you'll need for serving with your brisket. If you want to, you can store this in the fridge for several days, or if you want to go a little bit crazy, you can continue cooking the leftovers for like 20 to 25 minutes and make a glorious bacon onion jam that is to die for. But our sauce is ready, our brisket has rested, so let's slice and taste and serve this beautiful drunk brisket with our bacon barbecue sauce. All right, when you're slicing your brisket, you want to make sure you're slicing against the grain, and a good thickness for a brisket flat like this is about 1/4 inch or almost as thick as a pencil. Oh, it feels good. It looks so good. Smells even better. Now these slices are getting drizzled with some of that beautiful, shiny bacon barbecue sauce, and it's so shiny because of that bacon fat in there. It's kind of emulsified together and given us this glorious, shiny, thick, luscious sauce. It smells so good. This is not your traditional smoked brisket. This is a braised brisket with a smoky twist. I'm gonna steal just a little bite, use my fingers, off of this end piece here, and where I might traditionally be hesitant to put barbecue sauce right on a brisket, with this recipe, they were made to go together. Literally, the whole thing cooked together, so it's all supposed to be one glorious piece. Also, did you notice that the end of that brisket just broke off in my fingers? Yeah, it did. Oh my gosh. This is a classic for a reason. It's an oldie, but a goodie. And I'm really glad that Mike said we should video this one so that I had an excuse to cook it again. This is a special meal brisket. I hope you guys give it a try at home. If you do, snap a photo, post it on social media, use the hashtag #HeyGrillHey. That way I can see it and cheer you on your journey to becoming a backyard barbecue hero. And now that I've had my piece and said my piece, it means that Taste Test Todd gets to come try some. You want to come try a piece, Todd?
Then we need to retreat to the inside.
Then we run away to the inside because this is very windy and the storm is coming. Look at, oh, you can't even see how dark the clouds are. It just looks white behind you. Now, you've had this many times before.
A few times.
Look at your bite. That is like the perfect bite through little brisket.
It's tender and moist.
So we're gonna be eating dinner in a few minutes. I know I said I was done, I lied. I'm gonna finish slicing this and actually arrange it back in the pan. It'll keep everything warm while I get it inside and ready to serve the family, and then all that yummy saucy goodness is just all there in the warm cast iron skillet. Okay, now I'm done. Love you, bye.
To the inside.
To the inside, please.